Hey everyone, today I'm going to be changing this coil spring. The one on the other side snapped and I replaced it, and I need to do this one. The other one I used external coil spring compressors, which I had, and it was nearly impossible. If you only have external coil spring compressors, don't use them. The proper tool for the job is an internal one. I'll just grab it and show you. Okay. That is an internal coil spring compressor. It's probably worth getting a fairly good one, but it goes inside the spring, and then obviously you can adjust it using the threaded bar to compress it. We'll show you how that works. In practice, I'll take you through the main steps that I'm going to do on this. Bear in mind that if you work on your car, that's your risk. If you harm yourself or anyone else as a result of what you do, it's nothing to do with me. This is just me doing this. Step one is to put the car onto a jack and stand, make sure it's secure and it's not going to go anywhere. Obviously take the wheel off, which I've already done, and I'm now going to look at removing the top fixing of the shock absorber. That needs to come off so that it can allow the hub to drop down, and I'm also going to undo the anti-roll bar mounting. So I'll do that first. Okay, this is a 13. There's a 13mm spanner on the top, and I'm going to use a socket on the bottom. Right, this one's a 16 on the outside, quite tricky to get to, and a 13 under the wheel arch. You can see the spanner just up here. I may not be able to put it back together without taking the under scuffle off. We'll see how we go. Just get it out for now. This is just an anti-roll bar. It's got fixings at both sides. I took it off when I did the other side. It made the job of pulling down the hub a lot easier. There we go. So that's kind of dropped away of its own accord. Okay, so next we need to undo the top of the strut. This is a 17 on here, but obviously the whole thing turns. So this, my smallest spanner is 6, and it's a little bit too big, but it's okay, it is holding. Just before I do this last bit, I'm going to put a jack under the hub, just take the weight off it. I have a feeling if I undo this, it's just going to drop and it might do some damage. So we'll put a jack under it and prop it up. Okay, jack's underneath. It's all a bit looser. In which case, nice. I perhaps should have jacked it a bit more, but you can see there. It is on the jack. Right, take that, put it to one side with the washer and nut. And now I can let this off the jack. Didn't take much to hold it up there, but just to ease that down. There we go, nice and gentle. Right, there we go. Back plates are rusty on this car, need to do those. Not today. Right, the next job is to see if I can get the spring compressor inside here. So I've heard from people that have used these before that they've ended up having to put in a bit of a spacer on the threaded bar to try and restrict the amount it sticks out the top. So I'm guessing once it's compressing, it has to pop out the top of this up here, and that's where your sort of spanner is, or your socket to tighten it. But we'll see how we go. First I've just got to try and, I think I've got to take the thing to bits to actually get it in there. So I'm just going to undo everything and then see if I can feed it in. Okay, so as I get these in here, I need the hooks to be on both sides, like so. This actually needs to be level. One is longer than the other, so that needs to be, the long one needs to be higher than the short one. So they're still not completely balanced. And I should be able to then take this up inside, get it as high as possible. It took a bit of fiddling around to get it to this point. And they've obviously got to be even in the space, and the bar needs to be able to go through. That's how I go at the other one. I'm wondering whether this would be better from beneath. It probably would be better from beneath. I'm going to do it that way around. So let's just cut a bit. Okay, so I've got the first part of this up inside. I'm going to try and get the second part in underneath. They're a bit tricky. It's quite a small space. So spring compressor doesn't like to go in there. It is possible to undo the spring compressor arms. You just got to make sure they're done up when you're using it. You don't want the thing falling apart. But there are bolts that hold it together. I'm just going to pop one out so that I can flip this round, get it in position where I want it to be. Okay. Now, threaded bar underneath. I'm going underneath. Let's just get up a bit. Two parts of this to be as far apart as possible. Well, there we go. That's the spring loose. Now I've got to do very carefully. I've got to loosen that off on on the deck, so we'll do that. That was easier than last time. Okay, that's the product we're using. You notice on these, they have a little arrow that says top on it. That's what we have to do. So I'm going to go a full turn from the bottom and just over a full turn from the top with my tool. I'm going in from the bottom. Just got to go about there. This one will go about here. Let's tighten that up. So that was one turn from the bottom. Top's up here, and that was a turn and a bit from the top. So that's where I'm going. I've got to keep this centered and get it clipped on. While I tighten it. Check all those nuts are done up. They are. That's good. There's a lot more strength in this than the old one. So when I look at the car, looking at, that's where it goes at the top. You can see that the rubber that it fits into, there's a channel, and at this point over here is where it ends. So we need to make sure that it seats properly. So turning the spring to the right location is important. Same with the bottom. And the bottom here, this is the end of the groove. You've got to make sure that the spring sits against the end of the groove. I'm going to be trying to work to that when I come to offer it up. Okay, so we've got that in. Now I'm going to loosen it off, see if I can line it up. I was just seating the top properly in its rubber mount. The bottom then needs to turn, the whole thing needs to turn to line up properly. And put it about there, I think. That looks about right. I should be able to slacken it off the rest of the way, but I'm tempted before I do to tighten up everything else and put some jack under the hub. Make sure you get the strut through the hole. Up there. But there's the hole, that's the strut. Two are not aligned, so get that in the hole before jacking up the hub. Just make sure that's in the right place, keeping an eye on the spring. And what this is also doing is it's closing up that anti-roll bar mounting, so that's going to be in the right place. And with the spring compressed, it will be easier to undo the spring compressor, hopefully. So just keep this jack on the hub. Just going to put those bits and bobs on the top, at least loosely. Now I'm going to release off the clamp. There we go, it's getting loose. Now these parts are all quite tight in here, but if I release the jack, I'm hoping they're going to go loose. Easy does it. There we go. Yeah, these are now loose. I can take them out. So there we go. That's the finished article, all installed and ready to go. There's a bit of rust treatment to do here, and I need to clear up my work area. I suppose the question is this something that's something you can do at home on your own car? Yeah, I just demonstrated that actually you can. It's not an easy job, and there's a lot of risk involved with compressing springs. With the right tool, obviously it's a lot safer. This thing, made by Satra, I think is a reasonable quality product, and I'll use it again. I'm happy to do that. Would I give it to a garage to do next time? Yeah, I think I probably would if I could afford it, because actually it's a fairly gritty job. Anyway, I hope it was useful, and if it was, then give it a like and put a comment, and yeah, ask some questions. It's always good to talk. Thanks ever so much.